JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, he had to testify before Congress this week. It was a love fest. It was disgusting. You want to say, go get a room, guys, okay? Instead of being faced with tough questions, it was this love fest that wouldn't end. And nobody asked Jamie Dimon about his ugly past. Nobody asked Jamie Dimon what he's been up to with mom and pop pension money. Nobody asked the Wall Street fraudsters, tell us more about this story. James Kauffman is an attorney who specializes on going after these guys. He goes after the securities cases. James Kauffman is one of the best in the business.
Thank you, Pap.
And were you embarrassed by that whole thing, James?
Pap, you didn't overstate it with the Senate committee. The Senate Banking Committee is supposed to be monitoring the J.P. Morgans of the world and keeping mom and pop's money and their investments safe. And when they put money with a bank, that they know that bank's not taking crazy risks with their money, that resulted, as J.P. Morgan had what we think is a $3 billion trading loss. That's just a single, what they're calling the London whale. This guy by the name of Bruno Ixil out in London, he's out there trading mom and pop's money he's making hedge fund bets with derivatives that he probably doesn't even understand. I'm going to tell you he didn't understand it because here's the funny thing, Pap. The thing that they lost $3 billion on, that was supposed to hedge risk. That was supposed to be something that was supposed to keep the money safe. And they turn around and they invested in these corporate derivatives that they don't really I don't know if they are even understanding it themselves.
Okay, let me back up just a second.
Sure.
First of all, piece by piece, Jamie Dimon has been lying to us. We know that. Jamie Dimon said, look, I don't have our money at J.P. Morgan in all this risky stuff. I didn't do the derivatives. I didn't do CDOs and synthetics and swaps. I didn't do all that because I'm the smartest guy in the room. That was a lie. Second lie by Jamie Dimon, I didn't know what was going on. He did know what was going on. Third lie, there's no big problem here. Our London desk is under control. That was a lie. Fourth lie, it's only $3 billion. No, it's not, Jamie Dimon. When you take it and you extrapolate the equity loss here, it's closer to $40 billion that you just pissed away.
That's right. That's right.
Number five, you've taken mom and pop's money and who believed in you, Jamie Dimon, and you have lied to them and you've created this mess. And you know what? You're above the law, so what? Who cares? Nobody pays attention.
That's right. And Jamie Dimon, throughout the entire subprime mortgage crisis, he was known as the model banker. He was the white knight of Wall Street.
He was called Obama's banker.
He was.
Literally, that was his
title.
Obama's favorite banker.
Because he supposedly was the guy who saw all the angles. He did not take very high amounts of risk on his investments. He was a guy that was supposedly keeping everybody's money safe. And now, after this story with the trading desk and this $3 billion loss that is probably more like, and it's cost them in stock valuation, it's cost J.P. Morgan shareholders about $40 billion, as of April, and that market has, as their price has eroded. But the thing is that he keeps going through this saying that I'm the white knight, and now we're getting a completely different story, Pap. We're getting stories from former J.P. Morgan executives that are saying Dimon told us to take more risk, said push more yield, push more risk on the table. We're going to find out that Dimon supposedly said, I didn't know anything about what the London trading desk was doing. That's going to be a lie. He will have known. In fact, I think it's going to come out that he's going to say it's going to come out that he was encouraging them to take more risk. They were pressured to take more risk. And this is all under a backdrop, Pap, of you don't need to regulate us. You do not need to supervise us, Senate Banking Committee, because we have it under control.
Have you sued these SOBs? I mean, really,
we have a number of cases against J.P. Morgan right now, Pap, and we have a couple of these based on and it's based on this theme of I tell you one thing. I tell one thing to the mom and pop investor or the people who invest in our funds, and there's a whole other thing going on behind the scenes.
Okay, so the other story that this Bear Stearns story, I mean, to me, you scratch the surface a little bit, but the Bear Stearns story is we had taxpayers. You and me gave them a $30 billion non-recourse loan where they couldn't lose, zero risk, and everybody scratched their head and said, "Why? Well, hell, give it to me. I'll buy Bear Stearns."
Yeah,
anybody could. I mean, I'll buy it. You know, $30 billion from the U.S. government. Why? But we did that, and we did it for the same reason that we saw Jamie Dimon having what looked like sex on the floor of a congressional building with senators, because he takes his money and he buys the senators one at a time.
Well, that's true. I mean, if you look at his 2012 campaign contributions, Pap, Jamie Dimon hedges so much, he even hedges who he gives money to. He'll give it to Republicans, Democrats, whoever, as long as you're on the Senate Banking Committee. He's given to, there's Corker, Shelby, Varner, Johnson, Crapo. All those guys receive money from Jamie Dimon personally. And let's not talk about Richard Shelby. He's received, they estimate somewhere around $150,000.
Well, Schumer, I mean, my God, Schumer's a Democrat. You would think that this is a guy that ought to stand for something. Hell, I thought he was going to French kiss Dimon right on the floor there. Well, anyway, this doesn't get any better because there's so much money being spread around. We got, again, I love people tweet me. They said, "Hey, you haven't talked about Eric Holder today. What's wrong?" Why do I talk about it? Because he's a do-nothing AG. He's allowed this to happen. He's prosecuted nobody. He won't prosecute anybody. Yeah, do I hate to see him getting beat around by the Republicans, by ISA, who should be in jail himself? Yeah, I don't like that. But we got to call it what it is. I mean, we have a Justice Department that they have no teeth.
There's nothing that's being done. There's no one going after this. At the same time, they should be asking Dimon the tough questions about how did you let this happen. But really, they're asking him. So what do you think about keeping Glass-Steagall cut? You know what? We need it. It's been a good thing, right? To keep the money commingled between commercial and brokerage banks. That's been a good thing, right? Never mind the fact that that's how he got in this problem to begin with, and this should be a complete indictment of the Glass-Steagall repeals that has occurred, and that then they want to talk about the Volcker rule that they have been a critic of. Jamie Dimon has gone in front and said we don't need this because we control our own risk.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Okay, you sue these guys, they pay a couple $100 million. It's just business as usual, and I mean, it's a cost of doing business. They pay out, $50 million here. They don't care. They made that while this radio show's been going on. I mean, the money is meaningless until you put them in a striped suit. Until you put them in a striped suit, it doesn't make any difference.
The fact that there is one guy in London, and they're saying that this is one guy, I think it's probably more systemic than that. But the fact that they're pinning this on the London whale. And one guy over a series of a couple months can blow away $3 billion. It's probably more than that. That is just astonishing. That's right. They don't care. There's too much money in play. And frankly, when they settle a case for a couple $100 million, that is chump change to them.
Well, go after him. Keep it up.
That's right.
Keep it up. James Kauffman, one of the best in this business.